Have you ever thought about the names we give to plants and animals? Most common things have common names, like apple tree or carp. These common names obviously are different in different languages, and some even vary from area to area within the same country. To help avoid confusion, a Latin name has been assigned to each species. The most widely used system of naming, popularised over 250 years ago by Swedish botanist Carl Linnaeus, is binomial naming. The first name is the genus and the second name is the species. The apple tree is Malus domestica, the domesticated apple. These carp are varieties of Cyprinus carpio, the common carp. The naming system was extended to group similar life forms together. Apples are in a group with many other fruit trees and roses, which is a subgroup of the flowering plants, which is a subgroup of dicotyledons, a subgroup of the plant kingdom. Apple trees are plants and carp are animals. This much seems obvious. Back in Linnaeus's day, every living thing was either animal or a plant. This is known as the two-kingdom system, as in the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom. Before the development of genetics, living things were allocated to groups based on the similarity of their structures, appearance and behaviour. Sometime later, scientists using microscopes were discovering more and more small life forms that were often not obviously either animal or plant, and so it was decided to give these their own kingdom, known as Protista, so that by the mid-19th century we had a three-kingdom system. Then it was agreed that fungi, which up until then had been grouped with plants, should have their own kingdom, as they are in fact not at all like plants. So we moved onto a four-kingdom system. Then, as a result of further research made possible by improving microscopes and techniques that revealed the inner structures of living cells, it was discovered there is a fundamental difference between bacterial type cells and everything else. Unlike plants, animals, fungi and protista, bacterial cells have no nucleus. Their inner structures have no surrounding membranes. So bacteria were designated prokaryotes and everything else eukaryotes. So we moved on to a five-kingdom system, which is about where biology was when I left school. Then it was proposed that prokaryotes should be divided between bacteria and archaea. Archaea are microscopic organisms that were first discovered in hot springs and were originally thought to inhabit only extreme environments, but have since been discovered in a diverse range of habitats, in fact almost everywhere. So we moved on to a six-kingdom system. Recent years have seen huge advances in genetic techniques that are continuing to reveal more and more about the complex web of relationships that exist between all living things on Earth. Here is a diagram showing a recent attempt to group all living things according to the closeness of their shared genetic history. Here you can see that fungi are more closely related to animals than they are to plants, the green areas, and that the vast majority of genetic diversity is amongst the bacteria and archaea. This model will no doubt be altered as more genetic information is discovered about the magnificent variety of life and the interconnectedness of every living thing on this pale blue dot in space we call Earth. The more you look, the more there is to see. As an example of the difficulties faced in classifying these relationships, look no further than lichens. These organisms are a symbiosis of a fungus with a photosynthesizing partner, usually an alga. They give a glimpse into the non-linearity of evolution and the problems working out the histories of these connections. Genes not only pass from generation to generation, but sometimes also sideways in ways that are just becoming understood. So from the apparently simple desire to create a logical naming system, so people in different places could communicate about living things without confusion, has come a much bigger story. The story that all life on Earth has shared ancestry and common roots, but is hugely and complexly diverse. And the big living things we see every day, like trees and fish and people, are just a tiny weeny part of the huge genetic diversity that we know about. Nature never fails to amaze me. Next time you walk outside, look again at the life around you, and I hope that you too can be amazed.